Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's Sunday, May 28th, and this week has been pretty good. My allergies are acting up a little bit, so if I cough during this, I apologize. This week, I've gotten about just a little over 2,300 words written for Endless Horizons Sagas, so you know the steamroller's starting to go again. But that was in addition to about 15 hours of editing of a novella that is being written to be as part of a series. That's part of the series. That's one of the series that I can't talk about yet. So really quiet. And I've made some other progress on getting the publishing system set up that I wanted to use. So I'm very happy with that. And good news! I think I have the right actor for doing the audiobooks for the entire Golden Threads trilogy. So super excited about that because she's awesome. Anyways, I'm going to try something new, which is I guess everything I do on this thing is going to be new for me anyway. And oh, by the way. I'm just noticing the collar. Ignore the collar. My wife actually, when I mentioned that I put the shirt on, I was like, oh, I should probably get the iron and fix it. My wife was like, no, don't worry about that. And I was like, well, but look, it's kind of a little off. And she's like, it's more important that it's clean. And I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'll use that excuse at work. Anyways, so, I'm a total mess today. So I got a question in from one of you, from one of the readers out there. Hello, Ken. How you doing? This is from Kenn Brody, and he wrote me and he said, "I'm a former physicist. How does gravity work on your flatland Terra? Map making might be." Shoot. Noisy neighbors. Wait.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you go to school?
Now they're screaming across the car. I love it. Should I edit that out? Don't know. Anyways, might have an edit. So, welcome back from the edit cut. I just had some noisy neighbors playing, so excuse me. Where was I? Kenn Brody. So yeah, Kenn Brody wrote me and he said, I'm a former physicist. First question, Ken, how can you be a former physicist? They can't repossess the knowledge, so technically you should have said, I am a physicist. Ha! Maybe you could say I was formerly employed as a physicist and I now work in something far more lucrative like sales. I don't know. Could be true. Anyways, so from our physicist friend, Kenn Brody, he says, how does gravity work on your flatland Terra? Map making might be the least of your worries. Which I think is just great. He goes on to say, if it is of the same density throughout, people near the edge would have to stand at an acute angle. And I have to say, Ken is quite accurate. He's very true. I made a diagram. So this morning I spent some time, and I'll just bring this up to the camera, find the right angle. There we go. So that's a flat disc, and if you're standing in the middle, the center of gravity of the disc is going to be right there in the center of it, and I've made some diagrams of some alternative shapes. So like this one right here is actually a sphere, like the Earth or a normal planet. The center of gravity is at the center of the sphere, and all points around it are basically pulling towards the surface. This over here is like an asteroid or some irregular shaped mass. Again, the center of gravity will be somewhere at the center point of all of its major mass point, and then the gravity will then point towards that location from all around it. Now, down here we have kind of a bowl shape. Now, when you get into a bowl shape, if the mass of the bowl is kind of all distributed throughout, the actual point at which the center of gravity will be is actually going to be kind of floating in the air above the bowl, kind of in the center of the bowl, which would mean that things would technically pull up, which seems kind of strange. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I watched a whole bunch of physics videos and tried to figure out the gravity for this. And again, this is a much larger list, like a half, an open half of a sphere that's been cut in half. The gravity for the sphere would actually be at the center of the sphere, so the gravity of a half of a sphere would be down a bit, but again, the gravity would be kind of pointing towards that center point as opposed to anything. So anything on the inside would technically float up to the central gravity point. The same thing like with the bowl. So that's a strange thing because you want gravity to go kind of down, right? So you don't want gravity going up. And what Kenn's pointing out is that if you have a disk and the center of gravity of the disk is at this point, then if you're near the edge, gravity is actually going along the surface of the disk towards, because it's going towards that center point. So the closer to the edge you get, so if you're standing in the middle of the disk, you see it stand up, and the closer to the edge you get, the more at an angle you have to stand to because the gravity is going there. And I did write back to Kenn. I told him that there was a reason for it, and I'll just kind of flip back here. So this is page 170 where I did this diagram, and if we flip backwards, going back in time, let's go all the way back to June of 2015, so 2 years ago. Strangely enough, almost at the exact same time frame as now, because June is there. And I will show you that there's cute little diagrams here. This is me actually thinking about gravity and working out the poles and the distances between the planets, and trying to understand how the entire system could work on Terra. I'm going to go, because there's a spoiler to explain exactly how the gravity works on Terra. I'm going to have to go with the Terry Pratchett style of explanation, which is arrangements have been made. There you go, there's your answer. So with regards to gravity on Terra, arrangements have been made. It is in fact down, but the arrangements made for Terra are not magical in nature. They're actually very scientific and quite plausible, given that, if you have a group of scientists that actually are capable of understanding and eventually manipulating gravity to some extent. So, but there's a good explanation for that. So thank you very much for asking the question, Kenn. I actually had a lot of fun drawing the diagrams and actually trying to think up how I can answer this without destroying the spoiler for the first season. So I'm going to say that's enough for this week. Everything else is going really well. I'm going to continue working. More of my to-do list is getting checked off and done. So as I finish all that stuff, weight is flying from my shoulders, and I'm finding I'm able to spend more and more time on writing the next book for Endless Horizons Sagas. I really appreciate your listening and watching and reading, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I think if I ever figure this out and actually get sophisticated, I might be able to say, hey, click that button to subscribe. So if there's a button where I'm pointing right now that says subscribe, then I figured it out. If not, oh well, there's a subscribe button down there. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.